Very nice, very nice. Hopefully go see it on Friday. Well, hello guys, welcome. Thanks for joining so quickly. Hey Ilha, how's it going? Hey, hey Furcat, thanks for joining. Awesome. We'll just give it a couple of minutes. The attendees number's still shooting up, so let's give it a little bit longer. Hey Yusuf, hi. Yes, that was the morning session. That was record numbers, and that's just one of two sessions. So see if this afternoon session is larger or not. It's going to be rather exciting to compare. Still going up. Give it a couple more minutes. All right, I think just whilst we're waiting, because obviously got a lot of people there. Hello, thank you everyone that is here. Thank you for joining so promptly. That is absolutely fantastic. What I'll do is I'm going to whack on this video for you to watch whilst we just wait for more people to join us. What do you reckon, Warren? Should we dig on in or give it a couple more minutes?
Yeah, I guess we should wait another 2 minutes before we start.
I think so. Just let walk away. It's still going up.
The numbers still going up. Yeah. Hi everyone.
Okay. So it'd be interesting to get feedback on whether the morning session or the afternoon session was better. We can base it just purely off attendees per country. You get to see where you're all from, giving your registrations. Thank you very much for submitting those to join today. And obviously we'll use that for follow-up from today's session as well. But yeah, still keeping on up. All right, I reckon that's probably long enough. What do you reckon, Lauren?
Yeah.
Hey, cool. Well, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Thank you. Well, good morning, even actually. I think we got some people from Latin America as well. So thank you so much for joining today's session. We are extremely excited to bring to you today our fourth Oxford Direct partnership with Birkbeck University of London. So just to start, a couple of admin things. We are recording today's session. So if any of your colleagues or staff aren't able to join today's session with us, not a problem. We'll be circulating the recording of this afterwards with some FAQs that generated from this morning's session. We had another group of agencies from the further east, and then obviously to this afternoon's session we'll collate those together, send those out with any sort of follow-up things with links to our agent portal, application form, etc. So we will be holding a Q&A at the end. So you'll see on Zoom down the bottom there's both a chat and a Q&A. If you've got questions, please throw those into the Q&A. If it's just general chit chat, throw it into the chat, and Warren and Alicia will be working in the background as I present, and then when we get to the Q&A we'll jump in and help with those questions as we go through. So you may have already seen this partnership is announced. It's live. It's out there. We've as of the 28th of February, our admissions is live and we are a go. So really excited about this one for a particularly prestigious university such as Birkbeck. So I will take you on through. So just to kick off with, just an introduction to some of maybe the team that you may be interacting with on this project. My name is Charlie Vine. I'm the new product launch director for Oxford International. This is our 14th launch in the last 3 years. So we are really growing, and it's fantastic to see. And across multiple different avenues of recruitment, both our pathway centres, such as University of Kent, Edinburgh Napier University, launched this year, doing extremely well. Our career colleges out in Canada, our university partnerships in the USA, and our OIPC centres in London and in Oxford, which are growing quickly, with new programs about to come out of those as well, which I'm extremely excited to launch shortly. Just to introduce Warren Kwan, who's our head of student recruitment for Oxford Direct. You may have already interacted with Warren, done events with Warren, had Warren visit your offices. A bit of an Oxford International celebrity, just spends his life constantly on the road. We every now and again intersect and spend time in different countries. We're very rarely in the UK. Maybe this Friday we'll get to see each other. Welcome, Warren. Thank you very much for joining today's session and helping out in the background with the questions, and that's really helpful as well. And obviously, I'm sure you'll be in touch with Warren to talk about potential recruitment activities in the coming weeks. And we also have on the call today as well, Alicia. So Alicia's our new launches marketing manager. Recently started enrolled, has put together a fantastic suite of materials and website details, which are all live for this new launch. So thank you, Alicia, for that and for today's presentation. I think it's an absolutely fantastic deck, and really looking forward to taking agents through it. So thank you. And Aaron's not on today's call, but I'm sure if you're not aware of Aaron, just to introduce him, he's our Director of Global Admissions. However, I will be connecting you in on for contact details towards the end of the presentation. Key members of staff within his team that will be your key point of contact should you, and hopefully not, have any issues with admissions or just any questions and things. After we'll be able to help you through those. But obviously, ultimately, if anything needs to go up a level, Aaron is there to support you too, and has been a key part of this project. So, Birkbeck University, University of London, so globally recognised as a world leader in higher education. It's the largest, most diverse university in the UK, which is reflected in the fact that it has over 200,000 students studying across its different campuses in the UK at any one time, with further 45,000 online at that same time. It's the third oldest university in the UK. It's been around for 160 years, meeting the needs of industry and has a unique approach to delivering higher education. And so it has a federal structure, University of London. It's made up of 17 member universities. And although Birkbeck itself has university status, it remains part of the University of London. So degrees coming from Birkbeck would be coming from the University of London. Just a fun one to know, the university has 2 million alumni. That is absolutely huge. And obviously that's across the world. So it includes 14 monarchs, 60 prime ministers, 85 Nobels, 6 Grammy, and 2 Oscars winners, and great, very notable alumni such as Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi. So, big, prestigious, well-known, huge industry links, and absolute research leader. So, a great addition to our portfolio. We're really excited about working with this fantastic university. So it's top 350 in terms of the World Times Higher Education World Rankings in 2004, 41st in the UK for QS rankings, or 375th in the world rankings. It's ranked top 15 and top 5 in the UK for the highest levels of performance from their revenue. I particularly like that one because essentially what it means is we're charging lower tuition, but our students are coming out with higher salaries. And I'll dig into that more as we go into the presentation of, to give more context. Terms like that is a really fantastic one. And as I said, it's a world-leading research-led university. So you may have seen this go out on social media. If you don't follow us on LinkedIn, please do. We do lots of announcements on there. We'll be doing further announcements about Birkbeck, and we've got some other great launches coming up soon that you may want to be aware of. So if you're on LinkedIn, jump in there, Oxford International, follow us, and you'll get to see videos like this. Oh, that video. It feels like an elevator pitch, but in a short, succinct video. So yeah, great industry links, great career opportunities, research led, great location, and let me take you through some of those details. So yes, we've got many universities now we work with in London, and I'm sure you've got many others across your portfolios, your team's portfolios of institutions in London. So why Birkbeck? Why Birkbeck and the University of London? So it is in the heart of London. So it's a stone throw from Buckingham Palace and Westminster, 1.8 miles from Buckingham Palace, 2.3 miles from Westminster Cathedral. Very close to West End, Soho, Covent Garden, north of the Thames, and King's Cross, right on your doorstep. So great location, and it's worth pointing out that in terms of the Federation of University of London, 7 of the 17 universities of London are all within that same area, Bloom Street area. So a wonderful part of London to be studying. But maybe focusing more about the university and its programs and how it differs. So Birkbeck is particularly well known for the fact that it's got great schedules for evening courses, obviously really creating flexibility for our students to work during the day. That is hugely popular for them already. We have no doubt that across our wonderful agent network that you will also see demand for that too. But worth noting, they do have daytime scheduled classes too, and they're expanding out the offering of those so that you've got the best of both really there to help with your different students. So why else? This is a stellar choice sale. So this is a highly prestigious sale. Highly ranked. It's got a great reputation, but it's also got that flexible learning we talked about. The evening classes. Its location is absolutely wonderful. It's globally recognised. Obviously, the University of London, I think everyone's aware of, and it's something that students, parents all can understand and acknowledge as a great university, which is fantastic. That really obviously helps with our promotion, and indeed hopefully will help with yourselves, and those fantastic links to industry. I think when we start going through its progression from graduation to employment rates, etc., that will give further context to that. I think that's probably partly due to its huge alumni network. So 200 million is quite a large one. So to be able to help students when they're coming home, their degree is very much recognised.
Being an international student from Ukraine in the UK is really enjoyable, and it's easy to get used to British culture, really easy to enjoy communicating with the people. I find it really welcoming and nice society, so I was just really enjoying being here and meeting new people and fellow students. What is special about the Birkbeck students community is that it's really diverse. People of different ages and backgrounds from different countries, and we all communicate really well. We have WhatsApp groups where we share plans for going out or visiting a museum, etc. The atmosphere in Birkbeck is just great. Tutors are always supportive, easy to communicate, so you can always ask a question and get a response and guidance. At the same time, the environment is really thought-provoking. The seminars are great, so you can express what you think, ask questions, hear unexpected answers. Having classes in the evening allows you not to choose between work or study. You can have both, and you can just work normally and you can study at the same time, which is great.
I come from Georgia. Coming to London, it's a huge city with lots of possibilities, the opportunities. Even in the university, there are lots of societies and events. Whenever you're a new student and you come to London, you need a lot of support. In the university, there are lots of support because I have a kid or I do need some extra time for my classwork.
I'm from Taiwan and currently studying PhD in psychosocial studies. I do really find London is a very interesting place, and I do a lot of volunteering work during the day, and I explore various different kinds of museums. Birkbeck has many services to help us to fit into the different culture. We've been assigned a mentor to help us to fit into the different kind of situation which we're going to encounter in London, and the different culture. The location of Birkbeck is so good, and we have so many resources from University of London. The saying that if you are bored by London, you are bored by the world.
Yeah, and obviously, given the size of the community, and that's just talking about Birkbeck. When you actually look at the rest of the University of London, its internationalisation is obviously absolutely huge. It's probably the most diverse university in the whole of the UK, given the size of it. So, I talked a little bit already about graduate success. So I think there's lots of different ways of looking at this. You'll hear, graduation to employment or further study rates. I'll probably ping one of those to you in a minute, but this is a really important one, starting salary after graduating. So Birkbeck is actually ranked third amongst all non-Russell Group universities for graduate earnings. So students on average are coming out earning over £30,000 per year on graduating from the university. So I think obviously, as much as employment is important, the employment to McDonald's or something, not so great. But if you're earning £30,000 a year, clearly you're going into something that's probably related to your degree, or at least your degree has helped you go into a great career path that's paying you well. So I think that's a very good testament there to the outcomes of students coming out of the university. Just sort of some of the campus highlights itself. So we talked about the location. Bloomsbury is the intellectual literacy hub of London, if you will. Like I said, 7 of the 17 universities of London are based in the Bloomsbury area, surrounded by museums, galleries, research institutes. The university itself has a huge library. So you can see it behind me now. That's actually the Senate building. It's got the Senate building, which is a highly prestigious building that all Birkbeck students will have access to, as do all University of London students. But for Birkbeck specifically, a huge library spread across 5 floors, an art gallery. It's got an award-winning cinema, multiple cafes, restaurants, student bars, etc. Everything you'd expect across a large university. But as I mentioned, also free membership to the Senate House. Also, as part of the Senate House, access to Bloom at Senate House, which is a sort of socialising study groups that students can join. It really helps them both socially and across their degree. Big one for us, obviously, this is an Oxford Direct partner, so we don't have a centre, like a pathway centre within the university. We are doing the admissions for the university and through your dear cells recruitment as well, to help internationalise the university further and create further access to students from different countries. So as part of that, though, not having a centre, these kind of facilities, such as support with accommodation and guidance, is absolutely crucial to ensure that our students are looked after and they have a great accommodation department. Also, in terms of access to student unions, a part of University of London, that means that Birkbeck students actually have access to multiple student unions within the University of London, which is absolutely wonderful, given they'll get exposure to different students from different universities within that same setting. Same goes with societies and sports, again, fantastic cinema on campus too, which is pretty cool. Research, but just looking across the different schools: business and law, computing, mathematical sciences, creative arts, creative communication, humanities and social sciences, and natural and psychological sciences. So a wide range of different degrees that are available. I'll show you in a second our degree overview, but we've got over at PGT alone as 108 different programs that are actually offered at the university. A large number of these are also accredited as well, so obviously that's great for students coming through those specific degrees. It also means they're exempt for a number of different examinations that are needed in order to gain that accreditation, and will stand them in really great stead going into their chosen career if related afterwards. So great to see that across here with CIM, CDP, and BPS. So I'm just showing spotlight degrees here, just some ones that for us are some of our biggest sales, obviously across MS International Business Management, etc. Law in general, big demand, but computing in particular. Is that looking at those though, that you've got the specializations within them as well, which I think are ones that are in huge demand for us. But as I mentioned, we actually have 108 different PGT routes. So I'll do a bit of a showcase of our agent portal. So if you're not using it already, we'll send you the link after this session and our follow-up email so that you can access this and find all documents relating to this or any of our other partner universities or programs that we have globally. But on the Birkbeck specific area of the agent portal, you'll find a degree courses listing of all of those that are available and which intakes that are available too. You can find the same information on our website too, but this is a really easy go-to counsellor guide to work from, and as you can see, pretty broad ranging. So we'll take worth having a read through, but we'll send you links for that. In terms of portal navigation, if you haven't used it, this is where all of our digital resources are. So if you or your staff don't have access to it, please email through when that follow-up email comes from today's session. We'll get you set up on there. But just to give you an example, if you were looking for Birkbeck after today, you wanted to have more look at that degree listing, or maybe today's presentation or some videos to show some parents, whatever it may be, click on the relevant university and then click on digital resources, and then you can see in there we'll build out all the different things from fast fact fires to presentations to images, videos, even branding and logos, etc. If you want to do your own promotion, add those to an event or whatever it is that you may be running. So with guidance on there to support you. So I think really great functionality. Just whilst I'm on the web, I'll quickly also show you on our website. You can come through either course finder or study options, Oxford Direct, and you'll find Birkbeck is live on there. Particularly if you're looking for like entry criteria, and obviously to apply, all applications across the whole of Oxford International come through the same application form through our website. So very simple for your use, for your staff to use. You can apply through the website, and also that comes straight through to our admissions to help you through that process. But in there has our full entry criteria, our policies, our program information, our intake information, our key dates. So great resource for you to have. So if you don't have it already, save that to your toolbar. Hopefully it's one that you'll be using regularly. So just to flick back to the presentation, so Spotlight Degrees, obviously just a higher level overview, but please do utilize that agent portal after. I'll just do a quick video on employability at Birkbeck.
At Birkbeck, you don't have to put your career on hold to go to university.
Teaching takes place in the evening so you can work in the day. You'll meet hard-working, passionate students just like you, combining work with the University of London degree, making themselves stand out in a crowded workplace.
And Birkbeck helps you succeed. There's free careers advice and support tailored especially for you.
And there's a recruitment service available during your course and after you graduate. Birkbeck Talent works with London's top employers to find you relevant and meaningful jobs and placements, helping you to stay ahead in the job market.
At other universities, combining study with career-related jobs is unusual. At Birkbeck, it's what we're all about.
Choose the university that gives your career a head start.
So I see there's a couple of questions coming in. I will come to those. So thank you, Career Password, for yours. It's a very good question, and I'll be digging into that in a second when I get to the program's overview. But just talk a little bit more about that employment support. Obviously, you saw that starting salaries of 30 grand a year. I think a great testament to that. But just to, obviously, I did say I've read the stat. 85% of Birkbeck graduates are in employment or further education after their studies. But I think that, combined with the fact the average salary is 30 grand a year, I think, yes, we're seeing positive outcomes from that, and that's fantastic to see. And again, I think that ties into not just its industry links, but its huge alumni network, its brand awareness of University of London globally. In terms of living expenses, obviously worth being mindful of. We'll go through these if your councils need any support when it comes to sort of CAS elements of the admissions flow process. You're probably more than aware of these, given your recruitment. Thank you today to our other centres across London. But worth being mindful of. Yes, London is a bit more expensive than other parts of the UK, but you get to live in London, so I think it's well worthwhile. And again, looking back at accommodation, I think the university has great accommodation support for students, and that's wonderful to see. But it's worth mentioning as well, University of London has intercollegiate halls that are open to all students that study across University of London. They have 7 halls of residence, so great that they've got that facility right next to campus that students can choose from, and that they'll support our students to come through, and obviously your students when they apply through, should they be looking for that. Equally, it's not mandatory. They've got a family in the area, brilliant, that will save them money. But I think great that they've got that resource should they wish to. So admissions, again, a big part of Oxford International for Oxford Direct. When we don't have a pathway centre, this is recruitment direct into university programmes. A key element of that is admissions policies, admissions process, service levels. That we keep those consistent, and that we ensure that what we put together with the university is something that we can attest to you, that we'll be able to maintain and ensure that an expedited process for you and for your students. So as of, we're really happy with the setup that we have with Birkbeck. However, to begin with, we will only be processing career paths. I think you hit the nail on the head there with your initial question. Thank you. Yes, just for PGT to begin with. And Olha, I think you're on it too. Thank you. Is that just for PGT to begin with? So we wanted to launch and make sure, our September is our first intake with Birkbeck University. We want to get out there early enough to build a good pipeline of students for that first intake from multiple countries. However, we needed to ensure that we had a consistent process that we can tie down to, that we can maintain, that works well for you, works well for your students. So as you can see, they're very similar process to what we have in place with Ravensbourne, with Roehampton, with BPP, and one that we've trialed and tested and are very happy with. For UG, we're working on that process, and we should be announcing hopefully UG entry as well in the coming weeks. So when we do, we'll be running another session like this and going through our UG process and the programs available to that. But as of PGT, yes, 108 different degrees that are available. Our process, you apply online for Oxford International as you do for all our centres. You receive within 48 hours the pre-offer or offer in principle, if you will, like we use at some of our other direct centres. And then from there, that's really built into that to meet all of the conditions necessary that will support you through, support your students through, to get them to unconditional offer. But the unconditional offer will come from the university, but we're doing all the legwork with you prior to that. So there's to ensure that there's a smooth turnaround on the unconditional offer. Then when we get to CAS prep and CAS processing, we are utilising Enrolly again. I think it's an absolutely phenomenal program to help you, help us, help your students in terms of visibility, document checking, interviews, etc. We then obviously have the visa appointment, then hopefully having some of your wonderful students come and study with us at Birkbeck, hopefully for the September. So yes, we have the September intake, but we also have an October and a January intake as well. So again, if you look back at the agent portal for the program overview, I'll just quickly open it again for your reference. It does show on there which programs run for each intake. So a really simplistic guide to work from. I'll just look it back to the presentation. Here we are. So those are the overarching tuition fees. I'm going to go into a bit more information about those further in the presentation. But it will be a comparison across University of London. It's actually a very affordable opportunity within the university system. So obviously entry criteria varies per country. Whenever we set up a new partnership, obviously the final criteria and policies that we have in place sometimes take a few months to realize for the university to test through and to approve. So we're happy with where it's at. They will only get better in terms of the different English proficiency exams we can accept. For instance, ELT is just currently being reviewed with them. We're hoping to have that approved shortly, amongst other English proficiency exams that we would like to have. Also English exemptions and review of some of the per country academic entry criteria that's in there too. So that's something that myself, Warren, and Aaron working through with the university to try and encourage as greater access to the university as can, but at the same time ensure that we've got students coming in that are going to enroll, going to progress, and obviously stay with us and come out with the same outcomes as students going through other means to the university. So very happy with how it is, but it's only going to get better. But when you're looking at that in general, you're looking at a second-class degree, 2-2, and in terms of English language, either an IELTS or PTE. IELTS, you're looking at 6.5, no less than 6.0 in any subset section. And I'll just open up this one as well, because I think we've got a bit of a representation from Turkey. I apologize if your country is not there. I know we've got a lot of agents from Ukraine and Azerbaijan and places, which is wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. So we'll share across in the links if Alicia, well, Alicia's already done it. Well done, Alicia, you're a step ahead of me. So you can click on there, check entry requirements relevant to the educational system within your country or country's recruitment that you work within. So please do use that. I think it's a great facility. If you can't find your country, let me know. We want to get it added so that we can ensure that visibility for your students. So, like I mentioned, we are using Enrolly. We try and use Enrolly for every partnership we have. We think it makes life a lot easier. You know, the dashboard of your students, you can see where they're at. Managing documents, you can see what's still pending to be able to get CAS processed. I think, you know, for intakes moving forward for UK, January was not an easy intake. We had quite a few countries that had larger than normal visa delays, and we want to start this process as early as possible in the build up to September. Part of the reason, obviously, we wanted to launch, even though just with PGT for now, but knowing that EG is probably coming down the line shortly. So before we go on to FAQ, we've still got half an hour for that, which is great. And I can see Eleanor has joined us, who's our Associate Regional Director for Central Asia, which is great to have you on here, Eleanor, because you've got a lot of your agents on here. So thank you. You can join us on the FAQ if you like. But welcome. Some frequently asked questions. I think maybe we'll answer quite a few of those that will come through on the FAQ. So firstly, what English proficiency tests are accepted? So as mentioned, IELTS and PTE, IELTS 6.5 overall and no subset lower than 6.0, or PTE 62 overall with no less than 60 in each subset. Obviously, we're hoping to be able to add ELT to that shortly. That's Oxford International's own English proficiency exam, which works extremely effectively for all of our other university partners. We have no doubt it will get approved for Birkbeck as well, but currently it is not approved. So please use either IELTS or PTE. Turnaround time from application to offer in principle is our normal 48-hour process that we guarantee. If you see anything different to that, please let Warren and I know straight away so that we can ensure that we keep that status. I think we're industry leading in terms of our admissions process and turnaround times, or at least based off the agent surveys that we do. Thank you if you completed one of those. So that's something we aim to maintain and are very proud of. Study gaps. So that policy is still being tied down. We expect it to be 7 years for high risk markets, but we're just waiting to get that clarified. We will do an update on that around everyone that's registered for today's event so that you're aware when we have admissions updates through. We're not doing undergraduate straight away. So just to really sort of, I know that's a big one. We will be doing it, but we're not doing it initially. So if you have any undergraduate applications, if you have a contract with the university, you can still send those directly. Obviously, as soon as we've got that approved and we have a admissions process that we know that we can maintain and ensure those great service levels for you, then we will be launching it. So we have the agreement to do it. We're just waiting until we can make sure the admissions is spot on, and then we will launch it. How many hours can a student work? 20 hours. That's great. And again, that flexibility of study time to be, to be working to be studying in the evenings. Much easier for them to do those 20 hours during the week. What is the initial tuition for deposit? £5,000, so slightly higher to our centres, lower than others. And I think actually when you're looking at visa rejection rates, it's probably about the sweet spot in terms of what we're seeing of not seeing visa rejections come through. So I think a decent amount. But equally worth noting that our instalment plans, I know we've got a number of agencies that do ask about this quite regularly, and it's utilised for a number of their students of our centres. So hopefully you're very happy to hear that. Just to note, you do need to set up a UK bank account. So there might be something students do on arrival to the UK. Once they've got that set up, they can pay monthly through direct debit or termly, whichever works best for them. Is there a pre-CAS interview? Yes, there is a pre-CAS interview, but what's really important to note here is that's through Oxford International. So we already do this for a number of our other centres. It's something that we've got a whole team that run this. The booking process for it is very simple, and ensuring that we can get through those nice and quick, so there's no delays around the interview process before getting onto an unconditional offer from the university. Is there a joint CAS? Well, it's again just worth reiterating, this is a direct university partnership. So students coming through to study are going direct into their graduate program. So yes, it's one CAS for the entirety, the full duration of their study. Details on the scholarships. So the university does do merit-based scholarships, and we're just going to collate the information around the criteria for those, and we'll send that out as part of a scholarship and tuition guide. It will be put on the agent portal as well. So obviously that's great that they have those, but what I really would like to show you is this. It's a tuition fee comparison and ranking across the University of London itself. So when you look at the likes of Royal Holloway, Goldsmith, King's College, etc., great ranking there with King's, is what's the tuition variance from what you'd get through Birkbeck, say part of the University of London, shared facilities, etc. Well, undergraduate, which we will be doing soon, but undergraduate, for example, at Birkbeck, it's lower than any other University of London degree by £4,000. And then if you're looking at graduate tuition, the average University of London tuition is 24,600. When you look across the PG tuition, or average PG tuition across Birkbeck is 19,800. So, almost £5,000 less than the group average. So a real cost saving, but you're still getting a degree from the University of London. So I think that in itself is a really big thing. We probably want to be talking more about this than the merit-based scholarships, because I think this is where the true cost saving is for the full duration of program. Thanks, Sharan. We'll come through to that on the FAQ if that's all right. Good question. Cool. And just to really summarize before we get into the Q&A, and then I'll have I think Warren's prepping up the answers to each of those ones that are in the question answer. So thank you for submitting, and if you've got any that are pending, do write them in now. But I'll just do a quick summary of the of our partnership with the university and why this may be of interest to you or to your students. So again, flexible learning, evening classes, but also with the option of daytime classes. That really depends on the student, but I think evening class is something that we're seeing more and more demand for. Prestigious degrees, they're awarded by the University of London, and again with that cost saving as well, that you'd be seeing of nearly £5,000 at a PGT level, but compared to the rest of the University of London. It's old, it's well known, it's got huge diversity, it's got huge alumni globally, some of which are very, very well known. It's got one of the highest graduate earnings, third amongst all non-Russell Group universities. So starting salary average of £30,000 per year, phenomenal. And it's very competitively priced again compared to the rest of University of London. So I think a fantastic offering. I hope you agree too. We're really looking forward to getting your feedback from today's session. I think at that point, I'll invite Warren to join us up to help with some of these questions that we got going. Eleanor, Alicia, if you do want to jump in, go for it. Otherwise, we can just head it from there. But we got some really good questions in from Career Pass, Leon, Joshua, Sharan. Hey, Warren.
Yes. I guess let's just start with some of the questions. We'll start with Sharan's one about, do you have credibility interview for low risk students from Qatar? I think the answer would be no. Low risk student, we do not require interview. However, if it's an expat student based in Qatar, then those students will need to be interviewed. Just one thing as well, I guess you might have known already, Birkbeck is on this approved list for Saudi. And then regarding the entry requirement, I guess we'll look through on the list that we'll share with you later on, which should detail out the country entry requirement. I think I previously answered one of the question from Oha, but I think it's worth to share with everyone here as well. I think she asked about when the students start classes in evening, if it's an evening course, and how many hours per week PG student could work in case he's studying in the evening. The answer with that would be the teaching hours for the evening would be 2 to 3 days per week at 6 to 9 p.m. In terms of the working hours, there's no different with any international students. So it will be 20 hours per week during term time. And off term time, there will be no requirement at all.
Because I was just sharing on the screen, Warren, what it's like on the search functionality for entry criteria. So, specifically for Saudi Arabia, which was Sharan's question, again, looking for a degree of 2.2, minimum 5 and grade of 70%, or a GPA of 2.8 out of 4, or 3.2 out of 5, and degrees that require 2.1. A minimum final grade of 75 or GPA of 3.0 out of 4 or 3.5 out of 5. So I think it's got great functionality. Do use that. I know Alicia's put the link in the chat. Do share that across. I have it saved to my toolbar. I use it so regularly. But please do utilize if that's of help to you or to your staff. Hopefully that helps you, Sharan. Hey, cool.
So Janisha asked about, is there any research program available for international students? I don't think so. I think for Birkbeck, most of the course are taught program, so not for now.
So career paths, is this centre for PG? I think we probably already answered that, but again, just to clarify, for now, it is. We have the contract for all entry points to the university, but again, we're only going to launch with the ones that we've got that streamline admissions process in there, so that you won't see any delays for your students coming through. It's a really critical part to what we do within Oxford Direct. So it is PGT for now, but we're expecting to launch undergrad in the very near future. So obviously, we'll run a very similar webinar to this, focusing on its undergraduate courses when we get to that stage. But for now, just PGT. So again, career paths, what's the typical turnaround time of Birkbeck? Do you think it'll be faster than usual time with OIG? Again, making sure that we keep the vast majority of the process within Oxford International's admissions, so that we're helping you through those conditions, we're helping you through any necessary interviews, they are indeed necessary. We can then maintain those service levels. So then we're expecting a very fast turnaround to unconditional, because there's very little left for the university to do other than actually create the offer itself.
In terms of, do you accept students from Russia? I believe so. We do accept students from Russia, and I think the entry requirement is on the website as well. In terms of CAS deadline for intake, so the CAS deadline has not been confirmed yet from the university. So immediately once it is confirmed, we'll share with you all. I think it's still quite early in the cycle, so we'll for sure that we will share the deadline once it's confirmed. The bachelor needs to be related to master majors. This is really depending on the subject that you apply for. For example, if you apply for education, for example, then we'll require a certain background on that. But in general, if it's business masters, then I don't think it needs to be a related major. Sharan also asked about, do we charge an application fee? The answer is no, we don't charge application fee at all. In terms of the payment plan for students that want to study MSc degree, we do offer payment plan. I think Charlie mentioned on that one. So it'll be 5,000 cash deposit, and once they arrive in the UK, before enrollment, as long as they have a UK bank account, they can opt for a direct debit scheme, which they can spread out monthly until they graduate, which needs to be by June. If they study MSc, if they start in September, they need to finish off the payment monthly until June.
I love the question or opinion from Career Pass, and we agree. So just saying about in terms of entry points, that's not particularly clear, particularly for Bangladesh. Yes, a big part of what Oxford International does for any of our university partnerships is, our market intelligence comes from you. So, our staff there, obviously we've got Shara and this great team there, would be looking to speak to you about that. I think they probably would have put through some of their own guidance already to our admissions team. And then what we do is we have a quarterly admissions review of each of our partners to go through our recommendations of change terminologies, equivalencies, etc. So please do message through to us. I'm not sure who the member of staff is for Career Pass, but I do really appreciate how much you're interacting with us. It's great to see. Yes, we'd love to see your recommendations, and obviously if it still fits within the equivalency set, that's something that we would work with the university to improve. Given we're selling the university, it's their entry requirements, it's direct admission, so we need them to adapt their policies. And that's a big part of what we do within our partnerships with universities globally. So great point made, and yes, we agree.
I think Larisha asked about SLC funded application acceptable at Birkbeck. The answer is yes. However, our first stage of partnership will be a postgraduate recruitment only for the first stage. So if there's any PG student, I'm not sure whether they qualify SLC, but if they do, then yeah, we can accept those applications. But I'm sure the volume will build up once we move on to UG, adding on that as well.
Completely agree. I don't think it'll be long, but we just want to guarantee that we've got a great process in place that we can commit to you to ensure that expedited process that hopefully you're enjoying across all our centres. So great questions, fantastic. And we're ahead of time, 15 minutes ahead of time, which is good. We got some Skype from the chat. Let's have a look.
Will you be starting foundation program still? I don't think we will be. Unfortunately, this is a direct recruitment partnership that we have. So I think it will based on what the universities offer in terms of their programs.
Yeah. We obviously look to expand out our offering across any university partner we have, but it's really looking at where they need that internationalization support. So if it's something that is a combined thing that works for them, but it's not currently something that's going to come out soon. But yeah, obviously we would love to have that if it's something the University of London would also like. Payment plan, a nice one. C-Sly from Education Consultants. So yeah, just to go back to, and I go back up again, but we do have a ability for students to set up a payment plan. So the condition with that is that they need to set up a UK bank account, and once they got that set up, they can set up a direct debit. So you're looking at either a monthly payments or semesterly, termly, if you will, whichever works best for them. A very good question. We're really happy that that's something that the university provides. Special education criteria for Nepalese students? I don't think so. I think I'll do a quick check, but nothing that's been stipulated. Warren, don't know if you want to.
No, it will be what is listed on the country entry requirement. So nothing specific on top of that.
Hey, how's it going? Do you have anything related to accommodation options?
Sharon, oh, sorry, go for it, Charlie.
Okay, bless you, thank you. Great question. What we tend to do, this is just obviously a very high level launch webinar, if you will, just so we get a look and feel for the university. But we will do further sessions after this that will be focused on things like accommodation or spotlight sessions on programs, or maybe admissions sections, if that's of help today. Just really where the demand is. I think an accommodation one would be great. So yeah, we'll put that together. We also tend to do a accommodation flyer or fast fact flyer that we put together as well. We'll put into the agent portal, and we'll put the link to the agent portal in the follow-up email after this. We don't have an accommodation guide yet, but it is something we'll be doing over the coming weeks, because we still have time to build up to September. But good question.
I think Sharon asked about online course. Again, this will be a face-to-face postgraduate courses so fortunate online course as well.
Through Oxford International, I mean, it's obviously, just for full clarity, University of London, has 45,000 students doing online degrees, and certainly if you have a contract with them, that's something you can sign up to. But Oxford International is purely helping through, as Warren says, the in-person provision at the university. So for now, we'll see. We are. Applications is live, Career Pass. I love being asked that question. Yeah, we are live. We've had our first applications through in process. So great to see, given that we only started the events this morning. Yes, we are live. Admissions are live. If you've got interested students in coming to University of London, please do send them our way. So one from Millicent, great question. Yeah, we're trying to get further exemptions put into place for English language. Unfortunately, Nigeria is one of the ones that is pending. So we're looking to have that as for WIAC and ECO to be a English waiver, so students aren't needed to take IELTS. I appreciate that's going to be quite tricky without that in place, but it is something we're hoping to have approved over the next couple of weeks, and will be something we'll be doing a very big announcement to your region as soon as that is approved. So work experience isn't required. Great question, Marina. But if students are coming from an unrelated undergraduate degree, work experience can be used sort of holistically against their application, potentially to gain access to a PGT program. So it's not required though, which is I know your question, but it can be helpful. Good questions, by the way. You checking the chat, Warren? There's a few in there. Might have already covered them. So we've done the payment plan one.
Education gap. I think education gap for high risk market will be 7 years. Yes, as listed here. Education gap is likely to be 7 years for high risk market. So yeah, that will be it here.
Nice. iFurcat. It's a long way. Yeah, so we're with FERCAT, great question, and we agree with you. We're looking to get those English proficiency waivers put in. I think they do have a few already, but I'm not sure if it includes Webster's, etc. So let me just pull it back to that slide. So yeah, I think we'll be sending out more information on that shortly, FERCAT, because we've got a few things like that pending with the university admissions. We're excited about, they're logical to approve, and as soon as we've got them approved, we'll be sending them around, and obviously that really impacts your ability to recruit. So it's a good question. We don't charge an application fee. Is that from Sharon? Thank you for that. Yeah, no application fee, just the deposit payment once the student's got for that initial process. So if you've got applications pending, don't worry, we're not going to charge you. Just send them on through, and we'll support you with those. I think you might have covered these other ones, right? Like foundation.
Yeah, I think all from Sharon's been covered.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
Millicent just asked about discount for international students. We don't have a scholarship like standard scholarship. There is merit scholarship. However, I think one key thing to note back on what Charlie showed just now is the fee that it is among the University of London partners. It is the cheapest University of London partner within the whole group. So I think that's something worth telling students about it, because I think if you're looking at the average tuition fee, though some of them is including scholarship already, overall it is still by far cheaper than the rest.
And you're still getting the same degree. So cool. Great. Okay, I think we've covered them off. So in terms of the question go, I think it's a bit of maybe a little bit of repetition. So we will put together that FAQ and send it over to you, so that you've got these sort of in writing to work from, to show your staff, to use it as a guide. We will have updates coming through it as well. Well, don't worry, that's another one. I'll just take it back to the process as well. Just a couple of questions on process coming through. So yeah, CAS would be issued on the basis of all final documents being received and deposit being paid. So good question.
So in terms of precast interview, it could be before the deposit, but it will be on unconditional offer stage. Yeah.
Sorry.
Done. Great.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Well, thank you. It's been an absolutely wonderful session. Hopefully that's been of use and interest to you. I'll just open up on that last slide again, just in case any other questions come through whilst we're nattering. But really appreciate you joining us, especially at such a busy time. We still have a lot of time though ahead of the September intake, so really looking to hit the ground running. Please do speak to your, we've got international staff now, 95 I think it is globally. So we should be one within your region at least, if not in the same country as you. If you don't know who they are, reach out to us. We'll make an introduction for you, and you might want to talk through any combined events or shared activities that we can do with you. But yeah, be really interested in your feedback in today's session, and we'll be sending that follow-up email shortly, either towards the end of this week or early next week, with related links, FAQs, and any of the things that we are unable to cover today. Thank you, Eka. Appreciate it. It's been absolutely wonderful. I've had great fun. Warren, thank you so much for joining today. If you want to do a couple of sign-off words before we close.
I guess just to mirror what you said about, thank you very much for joining us today. We hope you find this useful. We're very all excited for this new partnership with Birkbeck. We know we're still quite early in the cycle, not early, but kind of early in the recruitment cycle. So we'll definitely be following up with a lot more information upcoming months, giving you some more spotlight on programs, maybe give you another refresher training on application process. So yeah, we're definitely following up this closely with you all. But yeah, we're all very excited, and thank you for joining.
And the fact that you're joining us today means that you're already a valued partner, and we just like to thank you for all of your support and help across all of our partnerships. Hopefully this will be a good addition to that portfolio for you. But just echoes Warren's comments there. Thank you, Lisa, in the background for helping out. We have such a great deck and facilities there for agents. I think I've bought enough time for if there's any more questions to come through. I think we're all up to date, right, Warren? Is that good?
Yeah, I think we're all good.
Perfect. Well, thank you all. Really appreciate it, and please do reach out to us. I'll just put it back on the so you've got the contact details there at the bottom. That will come directly through to our admissions, obviously reply back to the follow-up email that we send later in this week. If you have any further questions that we can help you with, we'd be more than happy to do so. Fantastic. Until that's high fives happening in the background, we've got our hands going up. You see that? Career paths. If you got another question, send it on through now. I responsibly consider education again. Yeah, I think 7 years is already a decent amount of time, but I think if you've got any specific examples, please do send them through and we'll have a look at. So I think if it's obviously related or professional experience, etc., that's something that will be taken into context. But good question, career paths. Okay, brilliant. We'll probably, I think, there knock it on the head. But thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon or evening or morning for the agencies that are here from Latin America. Thank you for joining us and thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.